Have you have you ever come across ancient medical creatures and you said maybe they were into something? And this is why what I always used to say um, about the Greeks, because I guess that ironically the Greeks already invented the Hotline Miami. They just didn't know it yet. Like look at the center guy, like half man, half horse, stomping around, drunk with a bow in one hand and rage issues in the other. Um, tell me that that's not just proto jacket running into a room with a shotgun and the chicken mask. It's literally the same energy. Man trying to pretend he's above the beast, but also using the beast as his second skin. And and I'm not gonna dig in the in the lore behind Hotline Miami, but I'm gonna just um mention the purpose behind the game. So first of all, let's talk about the idea of bestiality. It's not in the literal sense, but as a metaphor. Like when you strip it down, uh, isn't about animals at all. It's about crossing lines we are not supposed to cross. It's about desire spilling into places society tell us are forbidden, and the human wearing on in the human wearing the animal face is the perfect symbol for that rupture. On one side, you have got the polished ego, the name, the job, the identity that fits neatly into culture, and on the other, you slap a beast face over it, and suddenly the rules no longer apply. It raises the real question: are we human pretending to be more than animals, or animals pretending to be human? That's why the charge of the imagery comes from. The symbolic wave of bestiality is about breaking categories, dissolving the boundaries that keeps chaos at bay. And the person who enters that territory is basically declaring none of these fences, law and morality and identity can hold me back, because the desire doesn't obey limits. It doesn't care about the map. It just like wants this and wants this like infinitely. And mythology has always staged this truth. The Minotaur, the Satyrs, and the werewolves. These aren't random monsters. They are uh, human beast hybrids driven by appetites that blur sex and violence combined, and they terrify, not because they are alien or something, but because um, they are familiar. They remind us that Eros and Thanatos, desire and death between brackets, are always tangled together. And let's pivot to the mask as its own archetype, because the mask is something so crucial in the game, and and the, because the mask isn't just a costume in the game, but more like a ritual tool, because it hides your human face and replaces it with something older and primal. It lets you perform another identity, one that isn't bound by the stability of names or rules. Like the moment the mask goes on, you are not someone called John or Sarah. You are the wolf, the rooster, the horse. You are instinct embodied. And from a psychoanalytic angle, Jung would say the animal mask is the shadow enchained, and that's why it feels so liberating and even dangerous. Like slip on a rooster mask and suddenly you strut like a creature of appetite and violence because the mask tell you this isn't me, this is the beast. The mask permits transgression, and culture cultures have known this forever. Like think of the Dionysian festival with the goat masks, shamans wearing bird skulls, carnival masks in Venice. These weren't just costumes; they were doorways wearing the beast meant breaking order, dissolving the boundary between human and animal, between social law and primal chaos. And in art, when you show a human wearing an animal face, you are dramatizing the fragility of the human category itself. It slips uh, with the terrifying ease. But here is the paradox, because when the masks uh, comes off, the guilt comes rushing in. The beast doesn't vanish; it just retreats. The psyche fractures into two voices: the beast who acted and the human who remembers. The mask becomes both scapegoat and the mirror. You blame it, but deep down you know it was you all along. And in and 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 in the modern art keeps circling back to this theme, like the um I don't remember the reference, but I think maybe it's the dog man or the bear in the Shining, movie, or the grotesque hybrids in Bush and Goya paintings, the masks of Venetian carnivals, even mascots and cartoon characters carry this eerie tension. Uh, and every time you see an animal face grafted onto human role, the same question lingers: are you pretending to be the beast, or admitting that you always were? Uh, so the animal mask is more than aesthetic. It's a metaphor for guilt and desire and fractured identity, and it reveals that civilization itself is just a mask, and beneath it the animal waits, patient and hungry, and etc. and and Hotline Miami isn't just about neon blood splatter and pumping scenes. It's about that moment when you wear the animal mask and suddenly you are not just you anymore. Uh, you are something else, and that something stare back at you like Derrida naked in front of his cat. Except here the cat is the rooster mask, the owl, the horse, because the animal that doesn't care about your excuses. It just look right through you, and you think you are the subject, the one holding the bat, the one deciding who lives and dies. But the game flips it, just like Derrida flipped philosophy. You realize maybe you are not the one looking, maybe you are the one being looked at by the mask, by the beast you invoke. And animal gaze becomes the Hotline Miami gaze, and and there the faceless enemy is staring at you as you slaughter them, or worse, the blank cartoon smile of Richard the Rooster, reminding you none of this has meaning. You keep asking who is making me do this, who is behind the phone call, but the deeper question is who who am I when the mask is on? And am I a human killing, or an animal pretending at humanity. And Derrida said we only know ourselves by saying we are not animals, and Hotline Miami drags that illusion through glass and gold because once you put on the mask, you are reduced to pure instinct, pure repetition, and you don't plan, you don't think, you just move, door, kick, swing, reload, move again, and when the level ends, the music stops, you're left in silence, walking back through the carnage, forced to see what you did, forced to feel the animal gaze looking back at you through the corpses, and yeah, the mask there isn't decoration, but um, it's more than idea. Like Richard doesn't talk. He doesn't moralize. He just stares. That rooster smile is more eloquent than any speech. Like Derrida's cat, it doesn't explain. It just exposes. The more you try to rationalize the killing, the more absurd it becomes, until you see that your whole identity is scaffolded on violence, on exclusion, on this desperate need to say I'm not animal, as you butcher like a one, and 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 it becomes um a Derridian parable. The violence isn't the point; it's the mirror, the game showing you how fragile the human category is, because you are not special. You are nothing. You are just another beast with a mask, and the real horror isn't that you kill. It's that you needed the mask to let yourself do it. And I think like we don't even know how to define ourselves without using the animal as a mirror. Yeah, and I guess Derrida would love this game.